If there's one sector you can't generalise about, it's retail. This is a sector where the difference between the sunny side of the street and the dark side of the street is everything, where the smell of fresh bread as you walk into the shopping centre makes all the difference. So with that caveat, the sector that we like the most for long-term performance is shopping centres that are hard to replicate. So urban, classically. Our strategy people are very keen on the subject of DTU at the moment. It's their theme. Demographics, technology, and urbanisation. So world theme. People are moving out of the suburbs and into the city. They're living and working in the city and also shopping in the city. So what we like as a long-term play, because we serve long-term clients on the whole, are things that are very hard to replicate. So there's two types of that. There's what Marcel referenced, the super tankers and the let me entertain you centres, I think was how you described them. They're hard to get hold of as an investment product. And then there's what happens in city centres. So city centres, you have to deal with compromise, lots of levels, easements, sometimes the pitch will move a little, but not much. Our asset managers in the UK, I asked them this question, by way of prep for you. I asked them this question, I said, well, good city centre, the pitch will move 100 feet in 100 years. So we like that long-term stability and the relatively tight planning that goes with it throughout Europe.
Yeah, I very much agree with the urbanisation theme. I think it is very important. And I think that's why a lot has been made of the death of the shopping centre in America, where the mall has classically been an out-of-town affair. And actually the interesting thing is that the thriving malls are these, they call them urban fortress malls, because it is very much linked into this urbanisation. I think it is less of an issue in Europe because many more of our malls, because of our planning system, have been built in urban locations. So I think they are a lot more sustainable, and I think that sustainability is a really important theme. But I think one of the other interesting themes is understanding the nuances between cultures and shopping as well. And I think we have to be careful not to assume that what works in the UK will work in Southern Europe or work in the Nordics. People shop in different ways because of the climate, because of the culture, and therefore formats that work in one environment won't necessarily work in another environment. And the way that particularly things like internet shopping get absorbed into the environment and the shopping centre schemes will also be different because of the way people interact with, and use shopping centres. So whether shopping's much more of a cultural experience, whether it's something that we do in a hurry because it's something we don't enjoy, it is different between cultures as well. So I think that's an important thing to bear in mind. And I think we've been talking to particularly our Nordic partners, and shopping centres are so important because of the climate. And I think it's been interesting to look at, for instance, the luxury goods high streets, which have absolutely thrived and were recession-proof. They were bulletproof through the recession. And we were talking about, well, what do you do when they don't want to be in a shopping centre in one of the big Scandinavian cities? And we're finally starting to see a little bit of more flexibility because they start to understand that you don't have the classic Bond Street or Champs-Élysées type location for luxury goods in Scandinavia because of the importance of malls, because of particularly the winter environment. And now we're starting to see retailers who went to Denmark because there was a high street and they could identify it, going into urban locations, but going into shopping centre, more style shopping centre locations, because that's how they reach their customer now. So retailers are starting to understand some of these nuances as well, but they are really important in understanding what works, where the growth is going to be, and how the retailers are starting to look at things.